Brawlhalla is a game that is 8 years old and is still going after all of this time. But a game that is 8 years old, with the crazy collabs and everything it has, it is kind of weird that Brawlhalla isn't more mainstream than it already is. Always being seen as a Smash clone and never really having its own spotlight. Brawlhalla even has celebrities play it and everything. But it still seems like whenever we get new Brawlhalla players, they always tend to leave. Brawlhalla players never stay. We have the dedicated few that go on, and then we have the ones that will either complain or just leave because of Brawlhalla's pretty bad, honestly, beginning friendly type of system. Even though Brawlhalla is a game that's been around for 8 years, it has somehow not gotten the best options to new players whatsoever. And the fact that you to this day still have to use YouTube to understand how to play Brawlhalla is a massive problem for this game. In today's video, I'll be going over how we can help newer players ease into Brawlhalla and at the same time also make sure that the veterans of Brawlhalla get treated well.
Welcome to Brawlhalla.
Wow, yes, Brawlhalla does have a tutorial. When you start the game, how are you supposed to know to go to offline play to get the tutorial? And then on top of that, this tutorial is the older tutorial that doesn't teach you barely anything. And to get to the more advanced tutorial, you will probably also have to go watch a YouTube video to even find that in the first place. And this is what I talk about. The fact that Brawlhalla, even though we actually do finally have a good tutorial in the game, they don't do anything to actually inform the new players on how to get to the tutorial. And because of this causes people to go into ranked and customs and experimental and have no idea whatsoever what they're doing. And after 4 or 5 games of dying to SIG spam or people that hate Lance, then they'll stop playing the game. And this has been a problem ever since the game has came out. Yes, I'm happy that Brawlhalla has finally added a good tutorial, but can we actually get a way to put the tutorial on people's faces when they first load up the game and not have people have to go look around in the game to find how to actually play it? When you take into the fact that the majority of Brawlhalla's player base is literally gold and below, that means something and that shows something. And it's not a skill issue, it's always been like that. This game is 8 years old and the majority of the player base is still gold and below is extremely insane to think about. The fact that as a plat player that you have put more time into the game than the majority of everyone else that just has touched Brawlhalla has literally proved that the tutorials and everything have just simply failed, since honestly to get into gold it doesn't require that much, just like a little bit of SIG spamming, and that's what people usually just do when they don't know what to do inside the game. Plat at least usually takes a bit of understanding your movement, true combos, and how to dodge and all of that stuff. But of course, if the tutorial is hidden, then how will you ever actually know how to do that? A lot of people don't even watch Brawlhalla YouTube, and if you don't watch a Brawlhalla YouTube, how are you going to improve at the game? This usually is going to cause people to get on Brawlhalla out of curiosity of it being up there in the top free games, playing 5 games, probably losing all 5 games, and then getting off and never coming to play the game again. Even though we get a lot of new players every now and then, they don't stay, and this is one of the main reasons. It would not take Brawlhalla that long to actually make it to where the tutorial sticks out when you're a new player. And like I said, you should not have to go onto YouTube to figure out how to play the game, especially when this is a fighting game. At least when it's like an open world game, it's understandable. But a fighting game that literally has inputs and controls, the first thing it should be shoving in your face is a way to learn how to play it. It should not be hidden at all. And once we get this under control, we will be able to get so many more players that will actually stay and play in the game. But on to the next thing that Brawlhalla has to improve. If you guys have been playing Brawlhalla for a long time, their chances are that you have played events, or at least one event, when you have either played the most recent 100 million event or the Mountain Dew event. And I'm not talking about seasonal events where it's like Heat Wave or Brawlhalla Days or Brawlhalla Times or the back to school event, nothing like that. I'm talking about actual events. If Brawlhalla made it common to where we would be able to get free rewards like colors and grinding out emotes and exclusive emojis for just playing the game like it did for this 100 million event, people will be way more excited to actually log in and play. When the Ravens honor color came out, people were actually excited to go and play Brawlhalla, and that's like extremely good because it gave people something to do. So many people were actually just enjoying themselves playing Brawlhalla, grinding out those colors. I mean, at least I kind of was, honestly. I didn't play that much, but that's not the important thing. The important thing is that a lot of people were looking up Raven's Honor and how to unlock Raven's Honor, and that's all you basically just saw everywhere. It's just people enjoying to play the game because it gave them something to do. The game does not really honestly have the majority of the time in events anything. Even when we get crossovers, it's basically, oh, they added Steven Universe, but everything costs money. So what am I supposed to do with this? Oh, they added Assassin's Creed, but everything costs money. But what am I supposed to do with this? Like, the majority of every crossover in this game is only just paid cosmetics. There is nothing else. And at least Brawlhalla has been learning a little bit from this. Like, even though I said Assassin's Creed, Ezio is actually a free character to play. Rayman was a free character to play. And we did get that one avatar from the Avatar The Last Airbender crossover. But besides that, the majority of crossovers just get added and there is nothing free whatsoever. If there was a free reward to grind out, it doesn't have to be anything big. A modern emo, an avatar, something. It will make people way more excited to actually log on for that event. Because if you know the whole entire event is just, oh, here's these new things, spending money, and not on top of that, not only do you do that, you make the crossover signatures so different to where it can cause a pay to win problem, which can also cause people to basically either feel forced competitively if they want to even win with that character, to where they have to buy the crossover in the first place. If we talk about content more in Brawlhalla, another problem is the fact that legends don't honestly add that much to the game. While it is cool to get a new legend for the signatures, when you consider the fact that we already have the weapons in the game, more hype is of course on new actual weapons compared to new actual legends, because a new weapon is way more content than a new legend. A new legend or a new character in most games changes up the game completely with a whole entire new moveset. But unfortunately for Brawlhalla, all a new character does is just add usually some broken sticks that end up getting nerfed eventually. If Brawlhalla made it to where new characters felt like more like an actual new character, people wouldn't play the game way more and would enjoy it way more when a new character releases. It honestly feels like a new character will either flop and be extremely hype, or people will be searching it like crazy for everything. There is usually no in-between for a new character's release. But at the same time, thanks to new characters only basically adding new signatures and a new weapon combination with weapons that we've already had, the character's whole entire hype around them dies usually like in the first week, because at that point, you've pretty much already done everything that you possibly could do. You figured out all the new combos, and that's honestly all you honestly can do with a new character in Brawlhalla, compared to a new weapon to where you can put hours into a new weapon and figure out a lot of new things. I've had more fun, of course, when Great Sword got added or when Battle Boots got added compared to any new character that got added, which is basically like hype for a day and that's it. Looking at Google Trends for like overall searches for like all time on Brawlhalla, you have the Battle Pass, Prime Gaming, Sandstorm, Crossplay, and for some reason Zario. But like, this just honestly proves that like Brawlhalla is like needs a lot of content. Even the Steam, if you see these like Steam players, 17,000 were playing an hour ago. But Brawlhalla's last peak and big increase of Steam players was in April of 2020. You know how long that's been? That's over 3 years ago since we've had like an increase in like Steam input on Brawlhalla. That just honestly proves that Brawlhalla is like stuck. They don't honestly get players that, like I was talking about earlier, that stick around. Majority of players with Brawlhalla at this point are either diehards or people that just get on the game casually every now and then to have fun. Now, I'm not saying that Brawlhalla can't have long-term casual players, but unfortunately with Brawlhalla, of course, also being a fighting game, Brawlhalla is going to get boring. Brawlhalla content is limited to being a fighting game, and fighting games usually have their outbursts of where everybody's playing them, like multiverses, and then outbursts where they just disappear because fighting games are honestly just games that are usually like that. Super Smash Bros. Even itself at this point is not getting the same numbers as when Super Smash Bros. Ultimate first came out because fighting games simply content is just different compared to regular games because usually the content for these games are usually just made by the player. So while of course Smash Bros has a story mode and Brawlhalla would do amazing with a story mode, I don't know if we're ever gonna get that, honestly. I'm not trying to act like Brawlhalla isn't doing anything to try to make their game better, of course, but Brawlhalla also has to fix these problems. These problems have been plaguing the game for so long. And while they are slowly but surely starting to do this, the game is 8 years old and it has suffered so much because of this. The game could be in a way better spot if these things were simply fixed. And I want to hear in the comments, do you guys have anything like in your own opinion Brawlhalla could add that can increase the player base long term for people that are staying, or to get more people's eyes on Brawlhalla? Brawlhalla has been around for 8 years, and I know it's going to hit 10 years. But of course, I also want Brawlhalla to be in the best situation it can be. And for it to do that, it has to fix these long 8-year aging problems. And I haven't even talked about other things like clans and other promises that Brawlhalla has made that we still have yet to this day even fix. Cross progression isn't even fully done, and PlayStation doesn't even have it at all. There's a lot of problems that I didn't touch on in this video that is also plaguing the game, but these things specifically are why Brawlhalla's player base usually either joins a lot and then leaves, or just never even tries it in the first place. But overall, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Until next time, thank you for watching. Peace.